Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just really quick before we start, I'm sorry if I sound weird. I'm filming at a different place right now, because I'm not home right now, but I do have to get this video up, so that's why. So today we're going to be looking at all the polishes that I wore in August. I do have one to share at the beginning that I wore in July that I didn't include last time because technically I posted it after midnight. So on my Instagram feed, it showed up as being up August 1st, but obviously that's not the case. So yeah, let's just jump into that one. So this first one is by China Glaze and it's called Flip Flop Fantasy. This is a really bright, like neon pastel, almost like a coral color. This is kind of infamous, I guess. Maybe it's famous, I don't know. Either way, I feel like a lot of people know about this polish. Personally, I really liked it. Obviously because it is a like pastel, a China Glaze pastel. It's a little bit tricky to work with. It's a little bit chalky and streaky, but overall, it was fine in the end. I did 3 coats here. Also, I had to really edit this picture because yeah, it didn't come out right when I took the picture. But yeah, that's that. Next we have yet another yellow polish that I did not care for. This is by Color Alike and it's called Yellow Glow. This is a neon yellow, but it's supposed to be a stamping polish. Um, Obviously that comes with some troubles. So for example, it's a little bit thicker. It's not technically supposed to be worn on its own. But I did because I wanted to, because I don't really have any other neon yellows that I like to use. You can probably see on my middle finger that there's some like texture, and that is because I wore this over a peel off base coat again, and apparently while I did cleanup, some of the nail polish remover kind of like seeped underneath the polish, so it kind of started bubbling and doing weird stuff. I'm not sure why this happened. Also, sometimes I feel like this polish like cracks after you put it on. I noticed that when I did my first coat, when I wore it the first time. It's really weird and it's not supposed to do that, but it still did that, so that's just something to be aware of. I did 3 coats here. It looks somewhat fine because I wore a lot of top coat, but I would probably not recommend wearing this on its own. Next we have the second one of the Life polishes. This is 105. This is the neon green version. It's basically just a neon green with a bunch of like black glitters in here. I like this polish. I like the other one that I showed as well, but they're just so tiny. Like the bottles are really tiny. I believe it's 5.5 mils. It's probably on the bottle, so you can probably see it on the screen right now, but I don't have it in my head right now. Either way, I like this. I feel like the glitter does kind of influence the formula a little bit. It's not too bad. Like, I didn't have a hard time working with it at all, but it still impacts it a little bit. I did 3 coats for this one. I just love how these look. Next up, we have probably my favorite purple polish of all time. This is by Pretty Serious and it's called Snugglebutt. This is a really bright, like, I almost want to call it neon, but it's not technically neon. It's just a really bright purple. And I think this was supposed to kind of fit into the Pantone color of the year. Was it 2018? 2017? I know that the color was called Ultraviolet, so that's that. Sorry for the noise in the background if you can hear that. So this is probably my favorite purple cream of all time. This is exactly what I was looking for like 2 or 3 years ago. It's just, I love the tone and, you know, I guess, I can't really call it depth, but just like the darkness of the polish without it actually being too dark. Either way, I did do 3 coats here. It does dry like, almost like semi-matte, but obviously I wear top coat with everything. So yeah. Next we have another Essie polish. This is called Deli Dance, I think. I think it's called Deli, I'm hilariously undereducated. But this is a really interesting like bubblegum pink color. It's kind of cool toned. It's probably not quite as cool toned as it is in the picture here. Or actually it's a little bit more cool toned. Like it has more of a true pink and less of this kind of color undertone. Not color, coral, I'm sorry. I do like this polish. I've said it 100 times, I don't really like pink usually, so, you know, I'm never gonna, like, fawn over a polish like this. But it was still good, it was a pretty good quality, again with the, like, semi-matte, wow, that was loud, the, like, semi-matte finish that it dries to. I did 3 coats for this. I didn't think that was a big deal. This next one is another one by China Glaze. This is called Japanese Koi. And I feel like a lot of people do not know about this polish or this collection in general. I actually don't know what it was called. I think it was something like the Ink Color Collection or something like that. I don't know. Either way, this is a really, like, dark, I guess quote-unquote dark, neon orange. Now, this is a neon, like I said, so it's a little bit tricky to work with. Again, it has that kind of streaky formula / coverage, whatever. And it also dries completely matte because it is a neon. That's just something to keep in mind. But I do like this polish and I do like the color. I did 4 coats for the picture here, which could possibly be a lot, but it was fine. I'm not sure I would wear it on its own again, but I feel like this is a good polish for nail art. Next we have a polish by Bourjois. This is called, I'm totally gonna butcher this, Ni Vernis Bleu, I think. I don't know, I don't speak French technically. So this is like a tealy turquoise kind of color. I did definitely have to edit this picture to make it look true to life, or true to, I don't know what the expression is, like it did in real life. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, this is a good polish. I feel like the tone is different. Like on my actual nails, it looked more, like way more saturated, but also darker, and I couldn't really capture that, and I couldn't really edit my picture to make it look like that. So this is something to maybe be aware of if you want to pick this up. I actually do not know where I got this from. I have a couple Bourjois polishes, but they're all in different bottles, and they're all kind of weird, so I can't really tell you where I got them. But I do like this polish, and I do like the color. I did 2 coats. I'm not sure if I said that already, but yeah. Next we have yet another China Glaze polish. I feel like I wore a lot of China Glaze in August. Either way, this is called Frostbite. This is probably one of my favorite China Glaze polishes. This is a really, like, shimmery, I almost said sparkly. It's not sparkly. It's a shimmery, bright blue, if that makes sense. Like, it's a dark blue, but it's really vibrant. I like this polish a lot. So, it is a little bit on the thin side, and I did have to do 3 coats. But I just love how this polish looks. Like, it's so vibrant. I guess it's still appropriate for like winter since it's called Frostbite. Obviously, I did wear this in summer, but I could see myself wearing this in like January. I feel like this would be a good polish for that. Like I said, it was a little bit on the thin side and it was a little bit sheer. I almost want to call this like a crelly. I'm not sure if crellies are supposed to, like, if they're allowed to have shimmer. I have no idea. I do like this polish a lot, so that's good. Next I wore a polish by Different Dimension that I picked up, I think about a year ago now, like from the day that I'm recording this, I think it was about a year ago. This is by Different Dimension and it's called Everybody's Hands Go Up. Now this is a really interesting polish. It's like an off-white glow-in-the-dark polish, and the glow is actually white, which I find so refreshing because I feel like a lot of times glow-in-the-dark polishes glow green or blue, but never just white. So I really like this, and I really like this for nail art, even though, and I'm going to get to this in a second, it's a little bit thick. But I find this polish so refreshing. About the formula, it's a little bit thick and it's a little bit hard to get it to level itself out. Basically what you want to do is just thin coats and try to even it out while you're applying it. So that would be my advice. I did wear this over a peel off base coat, which meant that I was able to wear gel polish on top, which definitely helped with any kind of unevenness. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but glow in the dark polishes tend to dry with some sort of like texture. That's just the pigment that's in there. It doesn't mean that the polish is bad, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I really like this polish, and I did actually use this for nail art. I can't remember how many, but one for sure because I'm wearing it right now, except I didn't take a glow picture because it was stupid. But either way, I like this polish a lot. Next we have one by Manhattan, which is a brand that I don't feature that much, and I think I actually said this in the last video too. I just don't have that many, but I did really like this one in particular. This is called Meow-tyful. I'm not really sure of the name, like I don't find it funny. But this is a really like bright fuchsia, but it has this pink shimmer in it, which makes it look really interesting. And again, I'm not a pink fan, but I like how this looks. I felt like the formula was pretty good. It still took me 3 coats, but I felt like it was fine. So yeah, 3 coats, like I said. I like this polish. I'm just not a pink fan. Next we have another interesting polish. This is by Misslyn, and it's called Kiwi Bomb. This has such a weird, like this is a weird concept to me, but it works. So this is like a medium, geez, okay, let's just ignore that. This is like a medium green kind of color, but it has these itty bitty tiny like black glitters in there, and then what I think is a holographic. And that's so interesting to me. Like, it's so subtle, but it works. And it definitely looks like a smoothie. And that's actually what they're advertised as, is smoothie nail polishes. I like this so much. I've had this for a while, but I've never swatched it. Because I think the texture and like I guess the branding kind of scared me off a little bit. Because I feel like a lot of times, like that can really ruin something like this. So I don't know, but I did really like it. So I did 2 coats, and yeah, I can't complain. Next we have a Model's Own polish. It's been a while since I featured one of them. This is called Rhubarb and Custard. This is a really interesting like raspberry red kind of color, but then it has these like pearlescent glitters. So yeah, this is one of their scented polishes. It's supposed to smell like rhubarb. And this one I thought that it smelled like that. Like it smelled like rhubarb candies, and I think that's what it's supposed to look like. Like the pearlescent glitter is supposed to signify like the sugar that's on the outside, or whatever kind of crystal that is. I did like this. I'm not sure it was completely opaque in 3 coats, which is what I did for the picture, but I honestly didn't mind. Like, I thought this was such an interesting polish that it kind of distracted from it not being super opaque. So yeah, I like this one a lot too. Next we have an older polish in my collection, and just right off the bat, I don't think my picture is the best. So this is by Bow Polish, and it's called Wind of Change. It's a thermal nail polish, and thermals don't have a long shelf life. So this one doesn't go all the way to the cold color anymore, I think. So this is what you're gonna get, and please don't complain. Basically, this is like a light, almost like bluish lavender color that goes to a reddish purple and then a darker mid-range purple, I guess. I I like this, and I liked it when it did the full transition. You can still see it on my middle finger and my pointer finger a little bit, but it's just not that easy anymore. And that's pretty common for thermals. But yeah, I did like this. I did 3 coats for the picture, which is actually not that much. I feel like bow polishes always take like 4 coats. unless it doesn't have anything to do with thermals or UV reactiveness. Reactiveness? Is that a word? I don't know. But yeah, so that was surprising, and I really liked it. Next we have another gel polish. I say another, I actually have not shown you one in this video yet, but I did in the last one. Either way, this is by Masura, and this is called Bikini Martini. This goes from a light blue, I kind of want to call it cornflower blue, to just a dark standard blue. I did 3 coats for this one. I find that these mini Masura gel polishes are kind of thick, but I didn't mind it that much. I feel like you kind of get used to working with it once you've done it a couple times. So yeah, I like this one. This next polish is a scented polish again, but this is from Revlon, and it's called Orange Blossom. So this is from their perfumery line, I can't talk. I like this line a lot because I feel like the polish actually smells good instead of just having the like generic floral smell or like bubblegum smell. It actually smells like what it's supposed to smell like. So this is just a standard orange. I did think this smelled like orange blossoms, even though technically I've never smelled orange blossoms, but I feel like this is what they would smell like. It was strong, but it wasn't like overpowering, if that makes sense. I did have to do 3 to 4 coats here, but I suspect that was my ring finger again. It's been giving me all kinds of troubles. But yeah, this is a good polish, and I can definitely recommend the perfumery line. This next polish is by Maybelline, and it's called Faux Grain. This is a really interesting polish too. It's kind of like a pastel green, but it doesn't have as much white in it as a normal pastel would. So it's just a really interesting color to me, and I actually really like it. It's like, to me, it almost feels edgy without actually being edgy, like without being dark, which is interesting. Either way, I did 3 coats for this. The formula was pretty good, slightly on the sheer side, but not unbearable to work with, if that makes sense. Like, it was opaque in 3 coats, but, you know, initially you would have thought, oh, this is sheer. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. I like this. This next one is by Essence, and it's called Rock My Soul. This is a really shimmery, almost like bluey, turquoisey color with a really strong, like, green shift, I guess. So, okay, I have to speak about this for a little bit. The picture is not 100% accurate. I feel like the base is a little more on the blue side, but then the shimmer is the actual color that it is here, if that makes sense. I just couldn't get that to work. I did edit this picture, but I couldn't get that specific combination to work or to show up at all. Initially, my camera just picked this up as blue, like just baseline blue. That's not what it is, so this is kind of what I did for editing. I did like this polish. I feel like this is a stainer though. I feel like my nails were slightly yellow after I removed this. But you know, everyone stains differently, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people who stain really easily. So if you are one of those people, maybe double up on base coat. You know, do whatever you can to kind of start preventing that. And yeah, I like this polish a lot, and I like this color. This next one is also by Essence, and it's called We All Have Secrets. This is an interesting, slightly muted, warm tone purple, or almost like a wine color. This was also a really new purchase. I think it was last Christmas. I did 2 coats for this one. The formula was pretty good. I didn't notice anything that I could complain about. So I don't really have anything else to say about this, and I feel kind of bad, but yeah. This next polish is by Catrice, and it's called I'm sorry, I butchered that. It's called Turn the Lights On. This is a yellow polish with like a silvery shimmer, I think. It's kind of hard to tell. It's basically just a shimmery yellow, and I did not hate this one, so yay! The one thing I noticed is that it smelled, but it smelled sweet, kind of like candied pineapple, which is a very specific smell, but I feel like that's what it smelled like. But it didn't say anywhere on the bottle that it was supposed to be scented or anything, so I'm not really sure how that happened. I did 3 coats for this one. It looks pretty good. It's opaque in 3. I don't have any complaints, so this might actually be a yellow that I like. This next polish is my only polish by Glam Polish. That was a lot of polishes in one sentence. Either way, this is by Glam Polish and it's called Virgo. This is an interesting polish in the sense that it looks like just a normal blue linear holographic, but it's actually made up of little like reflective flakes, which I thought was interesting because you probably wouldn't be able to tell just from the bottle. So yeah, that was interesting. I only had to do 2 coats, and yeah, I also edited the crap out of this picture. Basically, my skin looked just orange when I took the picture, so I kind of edited it a little bit. This next polish is one that I primarily picked up for its name. This is by Cirque Colors and it's called Lafayette. This is a slightly turquoisey medium green. It doesn't have a lot of like blue undertones in it, but it does. It's slightly more on the turquoise or teal side. I did 2 coats for this polish. I love this formula. Like, it feels really smooth and easy to work with. So that is always great. I thought the color was pretty good. I actually think I have a polish that is like the same color. So I might have to like do a comparison in my dupes video or in one of my dupes videos because I have a large collection, so I have a couple dupes. But yeah, same thing with the photograph on this one. My hands look kind of yellow. Well, yellow / orange. And I think I also edited this one. We have one last one by China Glaze. This is called Riveting. This is a shimmery orange glass fleck polish. I think that's the best way to describe that. It's really interesting to me. It's not something I would usually wear, to be honest, but at the same time, I was really interested to see how it would look on my nails. So, yeah, I wore it, as you can see. It's pretty, it's sparkly, it's a lot. I wore it over a peel-off base coat because I would imagine the flakies would just get everywhere. So keep that in mind. I did 3 coats. It looks pretty opaque. You can see just a hint of a shadow where my nail line is, but it's not super bad. And then the last one for this video is by Dance Legend and it's called Anthem. I feel like I've worn this a million times, and I feel like I've talked about it on my channel at least twice. Actually, maybe just once, but it feels like I talked about it twice. So this is just a purple, linear, scattered holographic. It's both. It has the linear pigment in here, but it also has little, like, flakies. This is really pretty. This took me 2 coats. It looks perfect every time, which is amazing, and it's probably one of my favorites. So yeah, that's it for this video, for this month's video, I don't know. So I do have another one scheduled for tomorrow. I hope that I can get that out on time, and then there's one on the 23rd, and then after that I'm not sure what my schedule is going to be like, but I do have the intention to kind of get everything done in time before the new year, except for the glitter polishes and the nail art, because I'm not really sure how I'm going to do those yet. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment and all those fun things. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you tomorrow.